ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, here once again to recap the week in sports. We got a full house tonight. Not going to do it alone. We're going to start with the Mad Producer, Podcast Poppy in the building.
Make the Jets great again. Wear it every week till it's great, until it's real.
Keep that washer going because you're gonna be wearing it for a while.
For a long time.
We got Anthony in the building.
What it do?
And we have Breezy here tonight in the building because we are transitioning to basketball, and here he is. But has no words. Wonderful. Man of little words. Well, let's jump into it. That icon picture is insane. By the way, I just want you to know it's insane. But we have to talk because I told Dylan this. I don't know. James is gonna get happy and laugh and say base God, blah blah blah. But here we are again. And again, James' Super Bowl prediction, he hit it on the money this year. So I have to give him credit. Chiefs, Eagles, we're going to talk about the two games to get them there. Chiefs, Eagles, James' exact Super Bowl pick. And for someone who Anthony doesn't want to hear it. He said, I'm not giving him no credit. I'm still waiting on the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl. Someone who doesn't, as Stephen Jones would say, there's no drought. Someone who doesn't watch football. James, sure do we getting awfully close with these Super Bowl picks.
As Roz, there's a world where I still pay attention. Roz, there's a world where I still pay attention.
Anthony dipped. I don't know if he knew this. He probably didn't, but I just want to point out, Dylan, that you're going to love this, that each one of us, me, you, Dylan, Anthony, me, you, James, Roz, and Steven, all of us in one way or form, all of us got at least one team right. Anthony is the only person that got nothing. Nothing. We all either picked the Eagles or Kansas City in some variation. Anthony did not get his AFC or NFC team right. And yeah.
It's very appropriate.
Neither of his teams,
how these things go.
Neither of his teams made it past the second weekend.
It's usually how these things go.
First, and yeah, these, as Ross would say, these things have a way of working themselves. I said, the moment Anthony picked the Ravens, that was the kiss of death.
I don't think we don't recognize enough how much of a jinx Anthony actually is. I don't like
jinx from Rockstar.
I pointed out whenever it's like real, like when it's happening in real time, but like Anthony is a real life mush. Like he is really a mush. The second Anthony gives you the stamp of approval, it's over. It's done.
It's the Tony Montiago touch.
It's just like, yo, you're doing great. We love you, and it's over.
Boom. Done.
It happened to Josh Allen this weekend.
Actually, you know what? I'm a liar. I am a liar. Roz also did not get either team right because
we love that too.
He picked the Lions. He picked the Lions, so Roz also gets nothing and likes it.
We love it.
But I guess that's what happens when you're out. He's got to focus on so many things, teaching the youth. He doesn't have don't have time. Don't have time to pay attention to sports when you're teaching the youth.
Oh no! I know you didn't bring that up again.
Oh,
Oh man!
but let's recap it. First game, Eagles, Commanders. I mean, if you've been following us, I think everyone here knows I've been saying for quite some time now that guy that wears 26 is the MVP of the league.
Dog.
Even though he's not going to win it, but he's the MVP. And here's a crazy idea. If you give your best player the ball multiple times, good things usually happen.
John Harbaugh should really listen to this.
Just a
Give your best player the ball, you'll probably win.
If you do that thing that you do really well in the all regular season, if you do that in the postseason, chances are it's probably going to work again because it's been working all year. But 7 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles.
And so in Madden, when you commit consecutive penalties in a row, they kick you for grieving, right? If you're sitting there, you're playing a head-to-head match, and you go encroachment, you're done. I didn't realize they had a real rule like that.
I did not either. And James will tell you, I'm one of those people that knows all the minute rules and all the I also was oh.
Steven texted me immediately. He's like, holy shit, they got grieving in real life.
I did not know that was a rule. And I think most of America.
I didn't know that was a rule either. Absolutely not.
Frankie Louvu also didn't know that was a rule until the ref said, hey, we're going to get you and give him a touchdown. And he said, oh, you're just going to give him a touchdown? All right. And then he did it again. And then the ref promptly got on the mic and was like, if he does it again, it's a touchdown. And then Washington was like, okay, I guess we'll just stand here. And the Eagles went, heard you. Heard you. Touchdown. This game got away real early when they had 3 turnovers in the first half. 3 fumbles that were just
the fumble.
Didn't even give Jaden Daniels a fucking shot.
Yeah, the fumbles is the killer because I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't nervous. I'm not going to lie. I didn't think this game was Jaden. I had a feeling he was going to play well. I did not think he was going to win the game, but I didn't think he was going to play bad. And he did not play bad. He played very well.
There was a point where in the second quarter they scored.
The Eagles.
Okay, this might be a game. And then the Eagles came out immediately and were just touchdown.
That's when it was 23. I think it was 23-31 or something like that. But the Eagles did what they were supposed to do. They didn't allow Jaden Daniels to beat them.
They did not.
Lattimore crashed out.
Yeah, me and Dylan had fun.
That was so much fun. I noticed in the first quarter that what was happening, where I was like, "Oh, Marshawn Lattimore's about to fucking lose his mind," and he proceeded to lose his mind.
When AJ caught that 4th and 5 on him, that was the boom. That was the boom right there.
It's embarrassing.
It's not a good look.
It's like, dude, if you're getting cooked, you're getting cooked. Just accept the fact that you're getting cooked and just keep it moving. But don't start doing dumb shit now. You're just trying to save face because you're actually making yourself look even more stupid. And then all of a sudden, you're just getting flagged for penalties.
We see this every year, though, Anthony. We see one of these corners crash out every year because in moments, these receivers start cooking them when they talk big and bad and get left on an island. And you got these Hall of Fame receivers. We saw Cooper Kupp doing America a solid in destroying Eli Apple at Dylan's
Annihilate.
America came together. We were all so happy to see Eli Apple just getting cooked in real time.
That was wonderful.
Oh. And then
I remember that. That shit was hilarious.
these receivers, they talk a big game. They got to hype themselves up, and then
there is not a corner.
There
is not a corner in football who doesn't think they can't box with God. They all think they can box with God.
All do.
They all.
To be fair, I've seen Darius Slay get cooked for damn near 4 years in a row.
It's wonderful. I root for that all the
time. But I haven't seen him act like a diva. I mean, personally, I haven't seen it. I've seen him just take it on the chin.
He's also a vet. He was at one point, like at his peak, probably one of the 5 best corners in football at his best.
Yeah, he was.
And I would say he's still top 20, though. I don't know.
He's probably not even the best corner on his team.
He doesn't have to. I don't think I could name 20.
No, absolutely not.
I think I can.
20?
I think I can.
Because that would mean he's like a 3.
Well, not necessarily, because
if you do 2 every team, I guess.
I think you can get.
Yeah, that's a lot of people better than him if we're gonna go that route.
Yeah,
but I'm. My point is, I don't think Slay is like bad.
But I think Slay is washed. But I think I've watched him get cooked too many times in the last couple of years for me to think.
He's a serviceable kind of wash.
Yeah, well, he played good in this game because it was a one-dimensional game. Like, there's no nicking it up and playing chess anymore. Chess became checkers when you're down 20-something points. And you're like, okay, I don't have to worry about the run. All I got to do is play my shit. They're like, the best corner on this team is Quinion Mitchell. Like, hands down.
Oh, hands down.
Mitchell.
Hands fucking down.
And then, like, Cooper DeJean does his fucking job, too. So it's like...
He does his job, and Cooper DeJean does the dirty work.
And he's a good tackler. Where it's like, Slay is probably the 3rd best corner on this team.
He does the dirty work. I don't know if Cooper is, like, press hands, like...
But different types of corner.
I don't know if
different
he's
types
better
of corner.
Than Cooper. But when I'm saying, like, coverage-wise...
I think Cooper is because Slay's kind of cooked.
Cooper's better than Slay
coverage-wise. That's fine. That's
I would give you the extra stuff, the tackling, definitely, but I still don't know if we just, like, when it gets one-dimensional like this, I don't know if he's better than Slay yet, though. That I wouldn't be willing to... I'd fight you on that.
That's fine. We could agree to disagree there, but this game became one-dimensional. Steven pointed out to me, he was like, "This game's gonna go like one of like 3 ways. Saquon's gonna run for 1 billion yards,
which is what I thought was gonna happen.
The defense just didn't show up today, this day, right? The Washington Commander defense non-existent. No pressure was made. Jalen Hurts had all the time in the world, and just hit every open receiver possible. They were doing a terrible job covering.
Which is usually what happens when we have all the time in the world.
Mike, this isn't me shitting on Jalen Hurts. He had all the time in the world and just made throws. Like, Washington couldn't do shit. It was like, no matter what Washington did, the outcome was opposite of what they were looking for. Like, all right, we're going to try to stop the run. Oh, Saquon Barkley, first play of the game, fucking broke 3 tackles, 60-something yard touchdown. All right, we're going to sit there and go and stop the run. Oh, A.J. Brown's open on the sideline. Oh, Devontae Smith just caught a 15-yard pass. Oh, like, there's space there. All right, cool. We're going to sit there and focus on the pass. We're going to bring blitzes up the middle. Oh, Jalen Hurts rolled out and still completed a pass to a fucking wide open receiver. Like, they could not do anything. It was just one of those things where it's like, it's Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
It was just one thing after another, where it's like, it almost seemed like this was such an effortless game for Philly, where it was. Cool, let's just get this game over with.
It literally was.
We got Kenny Pickett snaps in a fucking NFC Championship game.
It got out of hand in the fourth. It
was terrible.
It went left in the fourth quarter. The dam broke in the fourth quarter. But I don't think I hear you, but I watched that game and I saw Jalen Hurts fucking them up. That's what I saw.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I saw Jalen
he
tearing them up with his legs, with his arm. He was making everything. He was on fire.
It was effortless.
I saw Jalen tear them up.
It was effortless.
You still can't convince me that he's a great quarterback, to be honest. Is he solid? Yes. It's still hard to convince me that he is a top 5, top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to do that. But, like, I will give credit where credit is due. Like, he did his thing. Like, he did.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to sit here and like give backhanded compliments because that's what it's going to seem like. But, like, the Eagles' offensive line just mauled. They gave him the opportunity to do that stuff.
I mean, you could say it. I mean, just at the end of the day, it's like two things are true at the same
time. That's the thing. I'm like, I want to give everybody credit because I don't want to take away the he played a good game. But, like, everything, it was just like a perfect storm to allow him to do what he needed to do, and he played great. Like, I'm trying to make it seem like I'm not shitting on him, but Mike's looking at me. He's like, yeah, you're still doing a backhanded compliment.
I mean, look, somebody said online.
Or does tear them up?
Somebody said online, Jalen Hurts is the king of what-if scenarios. And that makes a lot of sense. Because the thing is, it's like, again, Jalen Hurts, great game. He played a great game, but it's like, I can't help but think like what this Eagles team would look like with another quarterback. It's hard for me to not think that way.
Not as good, unless you're propping Patty down here or Lamar. It wouldn't be as good.
So if you swap Hurts with Allen, this is not a better team. If you swap Hurts with Allen,
it's a different offense. I don't know if it's the same. It's different because Allen is also a freakish.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you put Jalen Hurts on Buffalo, they are definitely not as good.
They're not as good. But Jalen Hurts is not as good as Josh Allen.
Well, Mike, let me put this into perspective. I think Allen's top wideout this year was Khalil Shakur.
But we just named the 3 best quarterbacks in football. So are we saying, well, if you put the 3 best players in football,
well, if you put Burrow there too as well.
Give me Matt
Stafford. If you put Burrow on the Eagles too, that's a better team.
Y'all were both one at a time.
I think if you put Matt Stafford on this Eagles team, they're just as good, if not better.
I don't. Because you're going to load up on the run way more. You're going to be able to fall back into coverage way more because you know Stafford's not going to run. So,
yeah, but Stafford's still going to be picking teams apart with those weapons.
They become easier to defend.
I don't.
If you put Jalen Hurts on the Rams are still the Rams.
I don't think so because they have a worse line. That's where we disagree. I think you can Matt Stafford more time.
I think you're underestimating.
Yeah, you give Matt Stafford that time and those weapons, man.
Some of the plays that the Rams get blown up, Jalen Hurts can extend those plays, and Jalen can hit, as Dylan says, he can hit all of those crossing patterns because that's the only thing he can do. And you have someone that can now escape the pocket. The Rams' offense unlocks if Jalen Hurts is on the Rams.
That's where we disagree completely because I don't think the offensive line is poop. Like, we don't know how Jalen Hurts really is going to perform with a bad offensive line or a worse offensive line. And that's, like, the key here. It's like Jared Goff looks unbelievable sometimes, and everybody forgets that he's just super average. But as an Bugattis everywhere.
At the end of the day, I think it's very much appropriate that people need to be reminded that Goff is a average-ass quarterback who disguises himself as an elite QB because he has a line that gives him like 10 minutes to throw. I mean,
I hear you, but that downgrades that takes away from the court because we can say the same. So is Troy Aikman not a Hall of Fame quarterback? Because he had the best line in football for almost his entire career. So does that mean he's not a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Well, that's
and
the
just
thing.
a product of his offensive
Jared Goff
line
has
and having
shown us
Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith behind him. So is he just
Jared Goff has shown us like when the going gets tough, he reverts back to what he always has been. Jared Goff hasn't shown us that he could make that jump to that like top 10 quarterback stuff. Troy Aikman has shown that he could do that. So like I'm not gonna take everything away from Jalen Hurts because you have to be able to play the game at a high enough level to execute on what you're doing. But I still don't really know what he is without all of these luxuries that a lot of quarterbacks.
He has the Avengers. He's the Black Brock Purdy. I mean, as far as the situation is.
I love that Anthony sees Brock Purdy for what he's always been. It warms my heart to know that Anthony has finally come to terms on everything I've been saying about Brock Purdy finally coming into fruition.
To be fair, though, I do think Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy. Like, if you had to take Brock Purdy from that San Fran situation and put Jalen Hurts there, I think that team would be better. That decimated Niners team would have been better under Hurts. I think Hurts is a better quarterback, but I don't think they're that too far off to me, to be honest. Because again, you look at their situations, and again, when I say Jalen Hurts would have done better, that's just me taking an educated guess. Because again, I have never seen what Jalen Hurts is when he doesn't have this foundation at the end of the day. I got to see Brock Purdy when he doesn't have the Avengers, and he looked bad, like bad. He was just throwing picks like every other play, especially in the second half of these games. That's another conversation. But yeah, I mean, and then it's just like, okay, fuck. Well, now I have to tell Dylan, like, yeah, he's kind of fucking right. Well, this guy is really not that good. You know, I think I'll be more bothered. I think I'll be more bothered if San Francisco gives him, from what I'm hearing, 5 years, 290. That's the numbers I'm hearing right now. If they give him that, whatever. There has to be a point where we got to stop paying these quarterbacks who don't deserve it.
We'll move on. I'll
Shout out
just
to
say
Jalen
this.
Hurts. He played a good game.
I would say we'll move
Yes,
on.
he did.
Say this. I've seen Jalen Hurts make the playoffs with AJ Brown or without AJ Brown. I've seen Jalen Hurts make. Yes, I have. I've seen Jalen Hurts make the Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley and without Saquon Barkley. That's all I'm gonna say.
All I'm saying is this team is much better with Saquon Barkley when Jalen Hurts has to do significantly less. Which also goes back to my theory of quarterbacks have their worst years of their career under Kellen Moore.
That also is a thing.
It's a real thing. Dak became
an
that's
not fair. That's not
Kellen Moore left.
The minute Kellen Moore left, Dak
MVP candidate.
Dak unleashed.
Kellen Moore leaves Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had a way better year.
He had a better year. He didn't. He's still an idiot, but he had a way better.
Jalen Hurts gets Kellen Moore worst year since he's become a starter.
They just got lucky that Saquon is different.
He got lucky. He inherited this fucking.
The Giants are idiots. That the Giants are idiots, and let me tell you, I am quietly but not quietly hoping that the same thing that happened to the Red Sox, hope it happens to the Giants, where they have to watch. Me and Dylan sat here laughing hysterically as Mookie Betts won the MVP after the Red Sox did not want to pay him for whatever reason and just let him walk like he was a bum. He went and started this Dodgers Avengers initiative and promptly won the MVP of the World Series the next year. It was the funniest.
And this is after
funniest
the
thing
Red
ever.
Sox literally turned from being the Red Sox into being the Yankees. The Red Sox literally became the Yankees, and then we're like,
We got our ring.
wait, we're not the Yankees.
We got our ring.
Yes, you gotta
I'm
go.
out.
You
I'm
gotta
out.
go.
We're gonna act like we're the Pittsburgh Pirates now, even though we're still one of the top 10 most profitable franchises in sports. Like
Nonsense.
I couldn't be. It couldn't be me. I couldn't be now. The way Roz acts in the chat, like with us, with the Yankees, that's how Red Sox fans should be acting because
Roz sometimes acts like we're the fucking Marlins.
he does. The Dodgers spent $450 million, and the Yankees are just piss pouring away, pinching pennies. Yankees spent $300 million.
Can you believe we traded Christian Yelich to the Brewers for a fucking bag of candy?
Oh my God, relax. But we move
Main
on.
event.
This was the main event too. The Eagles game was a nice warm up, and then it was like, all right, here we go, because it felt like America and Anthony were all. This is the year. This game was the most invested, the most non-Raider, and to be fair, the Raiders have been bad since we started this pod. So I have not seen Anthony as into a game in the chat as he was. This was it. This was Anthony
until the final
Super
2
Bowl.
minutes hit, and then he was nowhere to be found.
I mean, it got rough, man. It got rough. But this was a game. This was a great game.
It was a game.
It started a little shaky because I was like,
the Chiefs
Josh,
in the first half, outside of that fucking fumble, were playing a perfect game, and Josh was fucking dumb as fuck.
Josh is playing a little shaky.
His
he played
first
in that
two
first
drives,
half like he was nervous.
His first two drives were like, whoa, intrusive thoughts are winning. Intrusive thoughts are winning because he almost threw 2 picks on the first drive alone.
One of those was the one that the second one he almost threw was so bad. So bad.
I was like, yo, is this gonna be the dumb Josh Allen game that I've been waiting for all year?
I can't.
His Green Goblin mask was going sick.
But credit to them. They Joe Brady, I think Joe's his first name, right?
Yeah, Joe Brady, and they were like, you know what? We're gonna run the football.
They went, hey, if you run the ball, good things happen.
And we have good players.
And contrary to what Anthony may think,
James Cook is really fucking good.
He's
really fucking good.
As we were telling him this last week against the Ravens, hey, James Cook is really good.
He got 13 carries all in the second half. All in the second half.
All of that to the second half. Just he was cooking them. Shout out to Kareem Hunt, reviving his career, because let me tell you, wasn't looking good for him for a couple years ago either. But Buffalo came back, and then it turned into the slugfest, just back and forth. And Patty does Patty things. I put it in the chat, and Dylan ran with it afterwards.
Ran with it.
Opportunity called Josh Allen and said, "Here I am. I'm here. This is your chance, your moment. Just answer the phone."
He didn't answer.
He didn't
answer. It was set up perfectly for the moment, right? Everything that Josh Allen has been waiting for in his entire career at this point is like, we have the team. I'm having the best year of my career.
I have the ball
this
last.
Is the moment.
I have the ball last. I can go down, score a touchdown, and end this finally. And Spags said, nah, 4th down, send all of Kansas City after him.
Granted, I don't give a like Roz said the play call before that was a good play call. No, the fuck it was not.
It was. I
The
said that in the chat.
RPO
That was
on the overload side was a horrible fucking play call.
They're lucky they got 5 yards out of that.
Because that should have been a loss.
Yeah, you're right, Dylan. Because I said that in the chat. That was a horrendous play call.
He said right play, wrong side. There was nobody on the left side.
No, that was a bad play. That was a bad play call. It was actually like the players bailed him out.
They did their thing on that play call, but like right play, wrong side. That's not how that's designed. That is designed to that side. There's nobody else on the left side to do that with. You have all the linemen shifting over on the RPO. You have the other wide receivers they're blocking. Like that is designed that way. You can't change that without moving the entire play to the opposite side, where the defense will then shift.
It was not good.
Granted, the very next play where the fourth down, I want to shit on Josh for this, and I can't, right? Because I want to sit there and be like, oh, you have to be able to identify the blitz. He identified that exactly how he's supposed to. The problem is...
Good job, Dylan.
Spags did his thing. Spags
he did.
Right. So... he identified 53 as the mic in the middle on the left side, which you're fucking supposed to do to shift the block because everybody was coming that side to shift your blocking that way. Since they shifted left, everybody crashed right and got into his face immediately. So the fact that Josh was even able to make that throw
is unbelievable. Crazy. I was telling Anthony, me and Anthony was talking about this in the pre-meeting. In the moment, in real time, it was like, oh man, I don't know. Josh just kind of flung that ball. I can't even believe it got close to anybody. And then when you actually see the replay and see what happened, and like Dylan said, see that actually Josh did everything he was supposed to. He got the ball where it was supposed to. That ball was supposed to be caught. Like that is.
The problem is Kincaid's going one way and he had to go backwards, and you can't blame anybody on that. That's just how shit happened.
I can. You have to catch that ball.
That's a hard play to make on Kincaid.
You have to.
Like, I get it. Like, you could touch it, you could catch it, all that stuff. That's a tough play to make because he had to go full fucking horizontal ground to even get back to make the play.
Went through his
he's an NFL player. He's a professional.
Not only is he an NFL tight end, he is a high-level NFL tight end. He is an above-average NFL tight end. You know why he has to make that play? Because Gronk would make that play. Travis Kelce would make that play. I can rattle off the tight ends.
Oh, yeah. There's no argument about that. That's just
has to make
Them's
that
is
play.
The breaks.
And I was telling Anthony, if he makes that play, that legit could have been one of the greatest plays in NFL. That's definitely instantly one of the 5 greatest plays in Buffalo Bills history. Because the sheer fact that Josh was able to get that ball there on that blitz is insane to me. Because, like I said, Spags, and shout out to Spags for having the kudos to say, nah, I mean, it was a scheme. It was a great scheme blitz that you broke down, Dylan. But having the cojones to go, 4th and 5, cover 0, send everyone. I dare you to get the ball out fast enough. Is unbelievable. Because I know what Spags is thinking. Spags is like, I'm going to send everyone because Josh is not going to get this ball and run for 10 yards on me like he did the first time. That's exactly like football is such a game of chess because that play call is a direct response to Josh killing them the first time when he ran for 15 yards.
Oh yeah, I never thought of it like that. Yeah,
it's a game within a game.
That shit will never happen. Josh didn't have like this phenomenal game on the ground this time.
Never again. You will not do that.
Like the first game they played, Josh had 39 yards in the first quarter rushing. 39 yards on 11 attempts the entire game is crazy. Like they did. This is what happens when you have great coaching veteran leadership, Spags being one of the greatest defensive coordinators ever, terrible head coach, but one of the greatest defensive coordinators ever to do
He was
so.
a bad head coach. I would love to see him get a second chance to see if he learned,
he had
because
a chance.
he's gotten
He was the
so
interim
much.
coach for a while in New York, and he was terrible.
That team was awful. Also, like,
I mean, he also was the head coach of that Rams team that was also awful.
that Rams team was awful. That's why I'm like, that Rams team was also
Don't
like
take bad
horrendous.
jobs.
Like,
Also, I've been a head coach for like 15 years at this.
so that's why I said it would be very interesting to me to see if he did it. But I don't think it's gonna. I think he's going to be the next Kansas City head coach whenever the GOAT decides to retire. So, unless he goes off and rides off in the sunset with him, but
this was a great game.
But let's give Anthony the floor, because I know what play he wants to talk about.
Like, here's the thing. Like, before I even get into any of that, I will give credit where credit's due. The Chiefs play winning football. And that's something I said about them all year. You know, Pat Mahomes, yeah, you didn't see it in the numbers this year, but when you watch him play, he makes a lot of smart decisions. He makes a lot of really smart decisions. And he makes a lot of winning plays. Yeah, some of them are a little shaky. You can call it him flopping or sliding or whatever you want to say. He knows what to do at the right time. He knows what plays to make, and that's a big reason why the Chiefs are so successful. And that's why they're going to get another Super Bowl. Now, yes, obviously, the most controversial play was, did Josh Allen get the first down? You got some people saying yes. Well, you got a lot of people saying yes. You got a lot of people saying no at the end of the day. One thing that also doesn't get talked about enough is that there was apparently a neutral zone infraction too that should have been called on the Chiefs, and that didn't get called either. So that's also something that people were angry about on that same exact play. So again, I've seen like so many angles of that damn play. I've gotten nauseous just watching it over and over again. Some angles it looks like he clearly got it. Then other angles it's like, I think they might have gotten it. It's such a tough call. But one thing that I was saying, was it just seems like every time there's one of these really tough calls, they tend to always go in favor of Kansas City. It's like these really tough calls always seem to find their way in the Chiefs' lap. And that's the biggest issue I have. If this was Buffalo versus any other team and that other team got that call, I'd be fine with it. But because it's the Chiefs and their track record, that's the issue I have personally at the end of the day. And I don't know if it's serious or not, but I've been seeing a lot of people talk about they want an investigation into the NFL. Oh. They want they want these refs to be held accountable. Like I don't know how much of that is legitimate or not. I've been seeing people talking about they're going to boycott the Super Bowl and all this other stuff. But all I will say is that all I'm going to say is I think they need to just kind of have an extra meeting with the officials in the offseason. That's all I'm going to say.
Welcome to New England Patriot football for the last 20 fucking years. Like, this is nothing new. Like, everybody wants to complain and bitch and moan about Mahomes. Brady had rules made for him in games. Nobody ever heard of the tuck rule before it happened with the Raiders. And then guess what?
But was it this bad?
Huh? Yes, it was.
Was the Brady treatment worse than the Mahomes treatment?
Absolutely. They got every call. What made it worse with the Patriots was they were a pack of cheaters, and we knew they were a pack of cheaters. So when you give a pack of cheaters help from the refs also, it's just that's why no one likes them. That's why
people acting like the Patriots dynasty was just all like perfection and golden boy. Like, this shit happened the entire way. The entire way. Tuck rule became a rule middle of the game, no longer a rule because it was bullshit to begin with, right? can't go low on quarterbacks. You know the reason why you can't go low on
Because
quarterbacks is
because Tom Brady tore
because
his
Tom Brady
ACL.
blew his knee out. So you can't go low on quarterbacks because of Tom Brady. You can't go high and land your body on the quarterbacks. It's Aaron Rodgers. So like Mahomes is just sitting here. All the rules that have been made because of everybody else, they're using for him, and everybody's mad. Everybody, man, oh, you can't blow on him. That's Brady's fault. Everything here is Brady's fault. They changed the rules because of Brady, and we're getting mad at Brady's rule changes when it's
and Rodgers too. And Rodgers
to
too.
an extent, but Rodgers sucks in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter. Like nobody's going to sit here and complain because Rodgers always finds a way to fail outside of 2010, and he doesn't get the calls.
As much as I love Rodgers, he is responsible for the new roughing the passer qualifications that are really awful. Well, so you do have to
back as him because that's how he.
And that's the one that people are just it's just infuriating because thankfully sometimes it doesn't get called, but there are times when they call that and people just go irate because it's just like, what the fuck was that? How is that a roughing the passer?
Here's what you need to realize about the refs in real time on those calls. Those are so hard to make, and in real time, it seems like they're doing that. Sure, when we slow everything down, it's very easy for us to pick it apart and be like, he didn't do that. He stopped himself. But in real time, it looks like that shit. But then there's also a ton of ones where it's like, you're not supposed to touch the quarterback's helmet, and a million of those get fucking ignored. I'm a fan of a team who literally got like 2 roughing the quarterback calls in the last 3 years. And they're the first times they were called since the fucking Obama administration on the Jets. Like, it's this shit. This is just what happens. They miss calls. They don't get it. Like, it is what it is. But we can't get mad at this shit going the Chiefs' way when they went everybody else's way who's been like part of winning football for the till the end of time, like since the beginning of it all. This is how shit has gone. Peyton Manning got it, Tom Brady got it, Roethlisberger got it. Like everybody got this shit. It is what it is. The QB sneak on like we could go ahead. There was a face mask call that wasn't called on the Bills that we completely ignore.
That was
like
bad.
That was a bad miss too. Anthony didn't give me 2 minutes to find it after the game. I found it, and we can ignore that. Every time there's a quarterback sneak or a tush push, it should be offsides every single time because the center's head is past the ball as well. So that tush push should have been a false start to begin with. Not a false start.
Chiefs also got away with a bad face mask call too. So those cancel out.
Cancel out, right? But again, that offsides, so was the center. Every time they did a QB sneak, it should have been offsides. That wasn't called. Granted, the Chiefs stopped the QB sneak literally all fucking game because they don't do the Bills don't do the tush push, right? They just do Josh Allen's going to get the ball and then try to fall over the left guard and get yards while they push him that way. I don't think it was conclusive enough. So I would have been okay with either one, whether it was a no call, like a short or a first down. It would have been whatever to me. Because there was nothing for me to see where he got it or he didn't get it. It's like, what's the call in the field? That's kind of the one you have to stick with. So the investigation of the Chiefs, okay, whatever. Go fuck off somewhere. That's so stupid. Nothing could ever be, oh, this team is just good. And just this is always got to be, it's rigged. It's this and blah, blah, blah.
So you don't think the refs need to be held accountable?
What are they going to be held accountable for?
Questionable calls.
All year they've made questionable calls. Who's going to hold them accountable?
But
who's going to hold them accountable?
There's the NFL.
And what are the calls?
Again, you look at
it's human error.
I'll tell you right now, if you go back, I remember, I think it was the Eagles and Rams. It was a Monday night game. Even though, granted, the Eagles blew the doors off the Rams scored like 14 points. And both of those touchdowns were on absolutely just brutal pass interference calls on the Eagles secondary. It was so bad that people were just like, kept replaying it over and over. And the announcers were like, they're just gifting the Rams points. Like, that's just one of the examples where I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I can understand mistakes every now and then, And I'm trying to like give a non-Kansas City example. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm just trying to like single out the Chiefs, even though it's kind of easy to do. But you know, I think third refs in general, there's nothing wrong with holding them accountable and saying, "Hey, you guys can do a better job." Sometimes you guys are having a little too much power on the outcome of some of these games, and that should not be happening. There needs to be more consistency with the calls too, as well. So because again, the roughing the passer or pass interference, two of the ones that really need to be checked, those can really change the game. Those can really sway the game as they've done for many teams, Chiefs. So you really got to look at those.
The problem is there's pass interference on literally every play. Literally.
I don't even know what pass interference is anymore. I don't know what pass interference is.
The problem is
I don't.
The problem is a lot of the times they let pass interference go and they let it be physical, and then the refs will change their mind to actually call it. Right? The Jets played a game against the Vikings where they had literally 4 defensive holding calls in the same drive. And not once did I get mad at the refs. Not a single time. Because it was just like, if they're calling that the first 2 times, stop doing whatever the fuck it is you're doing. Because clearly they're calling it now. It's on you to adjust. It's on the coaching staff to adjust to how the refs are calling games. That's why it's like, we could hold refs accountable all day long. What's that going to do? That's not going to change anything. That means they're going to hyper fixate on something and then make a different call or miss a call. And that's how you end up getting that fucking Rams Saints pass interference no call.
That was just a horrendous
Still, that's
call.
the most egregious call I've ever seen.
I don't care what time of the game exactly.
That's the most egregious no call I've ever seen. But like, when you sit there and fixate on one thing, like, oh, you have to be better, then you get worried about other shit and you don't call the blatantly obvious ones because it's human error. The only way you could really get through to the official and do anything is to not let the official, what happens with the official, it be the outcome of the game. Because how are you supposed to sit there and be like, oh, we played a perfect game, the refs fucked us. Let's get to work, boys. Let's go. You can't do that. The refs didn't fuck us. We didn't convert this. We didn't score here in the red zone. You threw an interception here. You fumbled here. We did this. Da-da-da. You allowed a sack that led to this. Da-da-da-da. There's so many different stories to a game that changed before we can start blaming the refs.
But again, the refs
can be better, but
the refs can
it's at a cost
dramatically.
And it's at a cost because okay, cool. We need to be better at pass interference calls. The refs' jobs are already very difficult, and that's something I don't think people really understand is how difficult a ref's job is to try to get every call correct. When you could, the only way you're going to get every call correct is call that holding play every fucking snap, because the offensive line holds every fucking snap. And do we want that? We don't. We don't want that.
No,
you'll just end up getting that Bills-Jets game on Monday night,
and it's just unreal.
You'll get the
that was the unreal game.
Eagles Commanders full start.
Okay, enough. Can we just let this play now? Because you could literally call a penalty on every fucking play. So we need to pick and choose what we fucking want. Because we want the refs to be better and not call these things. At what cost? That's what we need to realize. And I think the one way you could get that fixed is by having having New York more involved, where they'll have like the official replay review that sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I still don't understand why sometimes they call down and be like, hey, overturn that, and other times they don't.
It's the way that it's.
If they're going to give because that's like NHL. NHL, they have their main center, and they're like, okay, cool, let's review this. Like, I would say football should have that for a while for some of these like pass interference calls or whatever. But like, they need be consistent. Like, let that person in New York be the word of God in this sense, and overturn whatever is fucking stupid. But then, I don't know, or there's no clear like expectation on it, because sometimes I'm like, oh, cool, they did it, and then they're like, well, why didn't they do it here?
The world will never know.
Nope. Shout out to the Chiefs, though. Chasing history.
Red Kingdom going for the three-peat.
Man, fuck them motherfuckers.
Remember last year after the Super Bowl, Anthony was like, guys, we need to all come together and root for each other's teams.
Well, technically, me and Roz were both in on it, but Dylan didn't want to do it.
I'm not rooting for listen, I hate you. So why would I root for anything like right? I hate Mike too. Why would I root for anything?
But you don't hate Roz though.
I hate Roz. I probably hate Roz more than I hate everybody else here. Because we are so fundamentally different on our fandom, it's annoying. Even when you think we're on the same page, we're not.
Well, for you, if the Jets lose, you're going to be in the chat for like 2 hours arguing.
I'm in the fucking chat, win or lose, arguing with Roz. Jets win, and you think World War III happened.
I remember there was one time in the chat where Roz was just arguing nonstop, just going ham on the Yankees about how bad they are, how dysfunctional. And then I was like, because I wasn't watching baseball this time, I looked at the Yankees record. I think they're on this long winning streak, and I was like, huh? Like, what's going on here? Like, because I thought the Yankees were just sucking the way he was talking about them in the chat, and then it's like, yo, they're on like a 9-game winning streak. Like, what's going on? Like,
I'm still waiting for Roz to apologize or acknowledge that during a slump in July or August, he said that they were an embarrassment to the Pinstripes, and then said team went to the World Series. Still waiting for an acknowledgement on that flip flop. That are they still an embarrassment to the Pinstripes? But you know, I'm the gatekeeper of fandom. That's what I get called because I'm not fickle. But listen, how can you hate a man that teaches the youth? How can you?
I mean, again, to be fair, one thing I've always said that Ron's been consistent with that he's always held his teams accountable. So I will always give him that.
He's always been fickle, is what you're saying. That's what you're saying. He's always been fickle. Hold his teams accountable.
Hey, depends on how you look at it, man. But you just got to give him that one.
I'm not holding them accountable.
Nah, Dylan, you're the opposite. You never hold your teams accountable.
How do I not hold my teams accountable?
I don't know. It took a while for you to admit the Jets' defense was sucking. Like
it took
you a while for you. Yeah, it took you a while for call out Sauce Gardner too, man. Because people in the chat were like, "Yo, he's
no, it didn't." Again, me not being vocal isn't me not like acknowledging what's happening.
What was that?
I think these things. I'm just not going to go out there and be like, "Fuck, this person stinks."
What was that? Because
and even still, Sauce had a top 10 season this year. Like everybody, shut the fuck up. He earned his name.
What?
I know. I just want to know because I've heard that said about me in the chat. So I just wanted to make sure that it's okay when you do it. It's all right.
It's always okay when I do it.
It's okay.
It's always okay when I do it. The problem is when the Jets are bad, I will tell you the Jets are bad every fucking chance, and it's scorched earth. When my teams are bad, I'm blow everything up, and I don't think there's more accountability than that. Blow it all up. Aaron Rodgers is dead to me. Don't ever want him. Thanks. You could have him, Anthony. Because I'll tell you right now, I can tell you who's not going to be quarterback one for you next year. A certain guy with 3 initials, AOC.
Apparently, Russ is going to be cooking in Vegas, according to you.
I can't wait.
I can't wait for that backpedal.
It's going to feed families.
It's going to feed families.
Can't wait for Russ to pull up to Vegas.
Anthony saying,
"Can y'all please?"
I'm not going to change my opinion. I don't do this.
Can y'all please give me? Can y'all please give me a list of these said families that are going to be fed under this regime? Can
Anthony
y'all please do this for me?
family in particular.
I would like to. I would very much like to see this list of families that are supposed to be fed under this regime, this supposed regime.
Wonderful.
I would love to see that, man. Get
called
that goofy
Carroll
fuck
the GOAT.
away from Vegas.
He called Pete Carroll the GOAT. Find me a quarterback Pete Carroll has won with. Oh, it's
I'm
Russ.
good.
He's going to go
Russ.
bring Russ back. Let's put the band back together. And Anthony is going to backpedal. He's going to be like, yo, Russ is a
Keep
Hall of Fame
that
quarterback.
goofy.
He's going to be here, and he's going to
No,
feed him.
no, he's not. Keep that goofy fuck far away from me. I'm good. I am absolutely good on
Going to
that.
be your starting quarterback.
I respect Russ, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's even washed, but he's on the latter part of his career. Like,
You said he stinks.
I don't want
What were
that.
your words?
What was that? I said he's going through a rough patch.
No, you said he stinks.
I said
This will.
I meant to say he's going through a rough patch.
No,
This
you
will be
said
Anthony
stinks.
when
You
Russ
did not
comes
say rough
on the
patch.
team.
You said stinks. You said
I
Russ.
meant to say he was going through a rough patch,
But you said he stinks.
but that's not what I meant to
You
say.
guys were trying to tell me. I said this to Mike like a couple weeks ago. Y'all tried to tell me Russ was cooking, and he lied because Russ wasn't cooking. He was just using the microwave. That's all he was doing. Y'all fell for it. Y'all fell for it. Not me. Stinks.
Well, when I look back at it, it's really George Pickens' fault. It's not really Russ's.
The whole season changed when he got hurt. Whole season changed.
Russ stinks.
And also he'd give up on plays too.
Russ stinks.
If you're looking for us to preview the big game, that will be on next week's show. So we will not be making predictions, but just know my outfit is telling.
Anthony has a new head coach.
Yes,
a whole bunch of teams have new head coaches.
Joe Biden is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Ready to get that team out, the oldest head coach in the land, brain leaking out his ear and everything.
The brain is not leaking out of his ear.
Yes, it is.
He's young at heart still, as they say, full of energy.
Joe Biden was too. And then he started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon," and everything kind of just fucked around. Oh, God. Raiders get Pete Carroll. Anthony, unbiased grading. Grade your head coach hire. A through F.
B minus. I like it because he brings.
Proud of you.
I like it because he brings a winning culture to. He has a winning background. Brings a winning culture to Vegas, which we sorely need. I just wish we just had just a more youthful head coach. That's really just my main gripe, honestly. I didn't know he was 74 until somebody put it in the chat, or I think I saw it on Instagram. Yeah, I think you put it. I thought he was like 61. Like no lie, I didn't realize he was like 74. All right, whew.
Youthful, man. Youthful.
Because I was
That's an
also
old motherfucker.
B minus higher. Because
Oh,
Anthony
really?
was in here spreading all this propaganda about Ben Johnson being the Raider head coach. After he told me that Jets beat writers are irreputable. Don't listen to the Jets insiders and beat writers. They're irreputable. But the Raiders ones, they were reputable because they were saying something that he wanted to hear. And then when I pointed out, I don't know if that's a good fit for you guys. He's like, nah, man, nah, you can't look at it that way. The second they say, hold up, he's not going to the Raiders, he's going to the Bears. And he was like, you know what? Dylan might be right. Dylan might be right about this whole Ben Johnson thing. But granted, Ben Johnson, the Bears are the situation for him. I said that fucking like a month ago. Ben Johnson, the best spot for Ben Johnson was the Bears.
It's a good spot for him.
but it begs the question why with that three-headed monster. Because contrary to what you may think, that I don't think the Lions are going to have this noticeable drop off because of the coaches that they lost. I still think they're going to be a very good team. Why would you go to the lone basement dweller in the NFC North? Why would you want to put yourself in that position?
Because that has a high floor. A high floor. You put an offensive line around them, they have a high floor and a fucking incredibly high ceiling. You give them one of the best offensive minds in the game. You get Caleb, who has an incredibly high ceiling, a fucking actual like offensive mind with all of those weapons that they have and a good defense. They have arguably the best situation for a coach to walk into.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. I 100% agree, except, again, with that last part, it's just like, all right, yes, they do have so much upside. Roster is great. You fix the O-line. That all is great. But then you still have to deal with three-headed monster in the NFC North. Like, literally, we're talking three teams that, again, yes, they did flop in the postseason, but in general, you're talking three teams that are all capable of making the Super Bowl, all capable of at least making deep postseason runs. Like their record against every single team besides when they had to face themselves, was absolutely insane, purely insane.
I think this Bears team with this new coach, you upgrade that line, I think they're better than the Packers. I think the Vikings won't be as good as they were next year. And the best part about the Lions was Ben Johnson. So the offensively, they're going to have a hiccup because Mark Brunell might also not be on that staff next year. He may be offensive coordinator somewhere. He might be the offensive coordinator of the Jets. I'm not saying I want that, but he is a name that people are watching to be an offensive coordinator this year. He still might end up going with Ben Johnson in Chicago. So you take away everybody who knows that staff because the Jets already took away some of their offensive staff members. Other teams are taking their offensive staff members. They're going to be running a new offense. And you have to expect everything to just kind of mesh. So, like, they're going to struggle. The last team that lost both their offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, do you remember what team that was?
I don't.
That was Philly, right after the Super Bowl run. And that next year was a massive difference in play calling and energy, and they were not the same team as they were.
Yeah, they shit the bed.
That is something that could very much so happen in Detroit. I'm not saying they're going to go from a fucking 15-win team to a 7-win team, but there could be and maybe a nice little drop off because of all the people that
I wouldn't
staff.
I'd say the worst 3 games. I'd say they're like 12-5.
And even still, granted, they may get better on defense because I still don't think Aaron Glenn was a very good defensive coordinator. But offensively, missing Ben Johnson is going to be the thing. Because I also think he was the Jared Goff whisperer.
You got to see about that.
So I think they're good enough to compete in that division, win double-digit games, and Caleb really shine. Really shine. Like that, I think is a A+ higher for the Bears.
You also have to take into account, I think JJ McCarthy is going into a very Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts-esque type situation, at least on offense, with the weapons that he has. And also, people seem to forget the Vikings, they lost one of their top tackles, midway through the season. He was done for the year. That was a huge loss for them, especially their front seven. So obviously getting him back and getting that line healthy again, and then if JJ McCarthy's as good as what I hear some people saying he is, again, if he's as good as what I hear some people saying he is,
Dylan.
I don't think. I know he's definitely not so. I don't think there's going to be that much of a drop off for Minnesota either. And then you look at the Green Bay Packers.
if Sam Darnold is their quarterback, I don't expect Sam Darnold to have the same year he had this year. I think the last 2 games of the season really was like, oh, we just have to apply pressure. Sick, we'll be all right. JJ McCarthy also, like, I don't get what people see in JJ McCarthy. I watched JJ McCarthy play football at Michigan. Mike, do you know what Michigan did a lot of when JJ McCarthy was a quarterback?
Run the ball.
They ran the fucking ball with NFL talent. They're running backs for NFL talents. Like, they handed the ball off.
He also didn't have NFL talent at receiver, though.
He did. Roman Wilson's in the NFL, and the other guy is an NFL guy too.
He's going to have that same talent with the Vikings.
Were they the Bugattis that he has now?
No, but I also don't think he's very good. I don't think he's very good.
Like, but do you see upside?
No.
He doesn't think he's very good.
I don't think he's very good, Anthony. I don't think he's very
I think
good.
With that, I think he's in the perfect environment.
The worst of those first round quarterbacks taken, like hands down the worst.
But his advantage is he's going to be in a very good environment. He's going to be in a very good environment with Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff and those weapons. He's going to be in the perfect environment to develop and succeed.
Bad quarterbacks always find a way to be bad. Always find a way.
On the flip side, though, I'll say real quick. I mean, all I was going to say is, like, you look at Bryce Young. He was awful. People are like, yo, I don't think this kid can play for. I was hearing every bad thing under the sun about Bryce Young. And when he started to finally get some semblance of help, some semblance of a line, people who can actually halfway create separation and catch a ball, he started to look like the Bryce Young of college.
I'm going to tell you a secret, Anthony. Nothing changed. Nothing changed on that team.
Thank you.
They got rid of a player.
That team was the same team. What happened was people are just impatient. Like, they just want him to be amazing in like 3 games. Like, it just does not happen.
Anthony was trying to tell me that if the Panthers had a
that's not true, Dylan. By the way,
who did they get in the middle of the season?
Dude, and they literally I'm talking about all season.
Horrible. He was horrible.
I know, but I know that, but I'm talking about the off season. I'm talking about the off season when the first they signed Robert Hunt to a 5-year, $100 million deal. They also got another lineman in free agency. They signed 2 big free agent linemen. That was like one of the first big moves they did.
Great, and he was
no, I know that, but eventually, once the team started to develop and started to like go into shape, like he started to play better. He started to like improve.
Develop. They're not rookies and first-year guys. Like, these are adults. These are adults who have been doing their job at a high level forever. Bryce Young was just horrible, and that's okay. Like, and he just didn't get it. Nothing changed in the wide receiver room except they got rid of what's his face.
They got rid of was it Deontay or who was it? No, it wasn't Deontay. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, once they got rid of him. Like, everybody else stayed there. Thielen was still there. Avery Leggett was still there. Like, all those guys were there. He got benched. Andy Dalton came in. They still sucked. And then he came back and he played really well. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. He changed. His mentality changed on how to do it because he just got fucking benched after being the first round pick. People don't understand. Bryce Young was not this fucking superstar in college. He was a good quarterback with great weapons around him all over the place. It was very easy for him. His wide receiver won the Heisman. His wide receiver was the first wide receiver since fucking Desmond Howard to win a Heisman. He won the Heisman in the 90s. Like, Devontae Smith at Alabama was fucking unreal. But, like, shit happens. You got to give sometimes quarterbacks need time. Not everybody can come in and be this elite quarterback right away. Shit happens. When you're a top quarterback taken, you're usually going to a shitty situation. And situations don't just get better overnight. And people just aren't patient. You yourself tried to tell me if the Panthers had a top pick, they were going to take a quarterback. And I told you, no, the fuck they weren't. Because Bryce Young.
At one point, it looks like they were.
They never were. They never were. Because
What?
Bryce
So
Young
you telling me when he was playing? Will you tell me when he was playing so bad? Because again, you can't say he wasn't a big part of the problem. Like when he was playing awful, and people were like, "Yo," it's like he was missing throw. Like he couldn't do the
I
fundamentals.
was sitting here telling you they were never going to move on from him. Because that'll be
If he continued to play the way he played, let's say he can't. If he came back and still played the way he played, they wouldn't have thought about replacing him.
No, because there's too many other problems on that team. And even with him coming and playing well and better, there are still problems with that team that you have to fix and address before you can expect Bryce to be better. Like he came back and was playing average football, and you were praising him like he was a god.
Yeah, because compared to what the hell he was doing, that was godlike shit. When the norm is garbage, average looks like really good. Like
we're grading on a curve, and we don't do that. We don't do that.
Hey, man.
Everybody the same. You grade everybody the same.
He did play better.
You gotta celebrate your wins, man.
Better from what he was doing. He was playing from an F to a C plus B minus. But I'm not going to.
You gotta celebrate everything. Everything comes in progress, man. Everything's incremental, man. You gotta take those steps and celebrate the wins.
They were not going to get rid of him because it would be a terrible mismanagement of assets and cap and draft capital for them to do that. Be a terrible waste to do that. Because then you'd be putting the next guy in just as bad a situation. They were never going to do it. A+ higher for the Bears. I also agree Pete Carroll.
Stroud stinks. All right, next topic.
Aaron Glenn, B+ higher.
B+. You don't even like him.
He was the right hire, though. Based off of the pool, he was the right hire. Because I'll tell you what, that fucking Cohen in the Jags, he definitely wasn't the right hire.
Duval.
Oh, that was Roz's guy. And he hired an idiot for his defensive coordinator just now. He just hired the fucking Packers linebacker coach to be his fucking defensive coordinator. I'm going to tell you a secret, everybody. Packers defense stinks. Packers defense started telling people what to do. So I don't trust the guy who calm plays in the NFL for a year to be my head coach. But you got to go off, right, Mike?
Bad franchises do bad franchise things.
Just like the Cowboys hiring fucking Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian, don't disrespect Marty.
Brian Schottenheimer, who hasn't been a good offensive play caller since 2009. Who wasn't good play calling in Dallas. But Dallas mismanaged the Mike McCarthy situation by not letting him go sooner and missed their chance to interview anybody.
Let Prime walk out the door.
Prime never was leaving. Reed, you said that. Prime never was leaving.
Never leaving. Jerry Jones just does things weird. Like it's time to take the keys away.
And he doesn't fire guys, right? Jerry Jones, I had to sit down and talk to Steve, and I was like, who are the coaches after Parcells? Because I had to really sit here and think about it because majority of my life, Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Jason Garrett was the coach for
majority of everybody's life.
Was a coach, but he hated Jerry, so he retired. And I was like, I forgot Wade Phillips was the coach of the fucking Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit. He's like, he didn't get fired. Jason Garrett
should have got fired.
Didn't get fired. Mike McCarthy didn't get fired. So there's no way you're going to tell me you're hiring Brian Schottenheimer and you're not going to fire him at the end of the season, depending on who's available. You're getting Schotty for 4 years.
4 years.
Because the only way you hire Brian Schottenheimer is if you are going to fire him at the end of the season.
For Bill Belichick.
Yeah, okay. Bill's gonna be living
No.
his best life in North Carolina.
It depends. It depends. If
I'll say
Bill
all the
hates
girls are gonna be the same age as his girlfriend now, and he's gonna love it.
if he
Love
hates
it.
college football, Bill could be in play. But I don't think
I
he's gonna
think
hate
Bill is
college
perfect for
football.
college football.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna hate it. I think he's gonna like it. I think he's gonna like all the power that he has. He's already. Did you see the report today that he's already making them tear up the turf and install natural grass? Which, by the way,
Kudos
not
to
gonna
him.
lie, it's a great idea because why? But yeah, you're in North Carolina. Yeah, absolutely can have natural grass. Like, get it together.
You can just
But
do what Roz says every team could do is just force people to be your head coach.
or just hire offensive coordinators since they
Just
seem
hire
to
guys. Just
they're the only ones that win are offensive coordinators.
him talk about Joe Brady. He goes, I would have loved to hire Joe Brady. Joe Brady didn't want to leave nowhere. He was never going anywhere. You have to make them not leave. You can't make somebody be a coach somewhere. Like, what are we doing? I can't force you to be the head coach of the Jets. I can't. You don't want to be the coach. You don't want to be the coach of the Jets. Simple. Can't make you do it.
Oh, man.
The first time I actually also like the staff that a head coach is hiring. Like, I hated Adam Gase's hiring except for Greg Williams, but Greg Williams was Woody Johnson or Chris Johnson telling him he had to hire Greg Williams, and I'm a big Greg Williams guy. Shout out to Bountygate. But I hated the entire staff of Adam Gase. I hated most of Rex Ryan's hires. I like Aaron Glenn's hires. Like, I think the Steve Wilkes hire was a fucking home run.
I really like
Home run.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
Wilkes has been scapegoated everywhere he's fucking been, and he's fucking good at his job. And it relieves me because then I know Aaron Glenn's not going to be calling my defensive plays. So give me a guy who's actually good at his job to run the defense. And he puts Aaron Glenn in the role that I think he's built for, which is the leader of men role. The accountability role. You fucking go and you tell Aaron Rodgers you suck, I'm sitting you down. Boy, he gonna retire so fast. God, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be held accountable. He's gonna dodge accountability like Anthony does. So shout out to Aaron Glenn. Cowboys get an F, Jets get a B plus, B plus because of the staff he's hiring. I appreciate that. Who else got a job? Steve Cohen's an F because I fucking hate him and I want him to be bad just so I can rub it in Roz's face. The Saints still don't have a head coach.
they don't, and I don't know who it's gonna be. Well, it's gonna be
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, it's gonna be Kellen Moore.
And then they're gonna be like, "Oh God, this guy stinks." This guy fucking stinks. We were fooled by his 1 year with the Eagles. But we love it. Coaching carousel.
It's terrible. All right. Well, let's move on. I don't know if Breezy's still here, but let's move on to basketball. Dylan, pull up those all-star reserves for me.
I'll do you one better. I have everybody.
Perfect.
Stars are the starters.
The whole player pool. We can go through it. What are your thoughts? I know I have thoughts, but I'll let you go. Dylan, you can go first. I'll let you go first.
I don't know how Jaylen Brown is here this year. Like, not shitting on Jaylen Brown.
You also hate him.
I do hate him, but like this year, I don't think he deserves to be here. Not over, like, I know he's hurt. Not over LaMelo Ball and not over Trae Young.
Not over Josh Hart.
Josh Hart is a hustle guy. He's not going to be an all-star. Those guys don't make the All-Star team. And Tyler Hero. Why the fuck is Tyler Hero here?
I don't know.
But Trae Young is not, and LaMelo Ball is not. Granted, the ball would have been replaced, but like, why is Tyler Hero here? Why is Jalen Brown? I don't understand that.
It's like, and I don't want to do, hey, everyone's having good years. Everyone's. I do not like Tyler Hero. He's having a good year, but he doesn't deserve to be on this team. Like, he's not having a better year than Trae. He's not having a better year than LaMelo. He's not having a better year. I mean, you can pull up the stats. I can't speak for Halliburton. I don't really like him either, but
I was surprised he didn't make it.
I'm very surprised he's not on the team.
Yeah.
So, but then the question is, who do you take off? And honestly,
Tyrese is averaging 17, 3, and 8.
Bum. Who do you take off? Like I said, the two people I would take off would be Tyler Hero, and then Jalen Brown would probably be second. And Siakam, but Siakam is, if you look at his numbers, Siakam is having a good year.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
He's having a good year because I am very happy that Darius Garland got on the team. I didn't think he was going to make it, but he's having an all-star year. Evan Mobley's having an all-star year. Evan Mobley could have started this all-star team. I'm so happy for Cade Cunningham. As Dylan knows, I am
I love
Cade Cunningham on this show. We are big fans of his. So, and he's having a great year. And I have no issue with him being on the team. So, like, who do you take off? Dame's having a good year. Like, I know the Bucks stink, and Dame is having a good year. And the Bucks don't stink, believe it or not. The Bucks are doing very well. Quiet as it kept. The Bucks have righted the ship. Doc has got them playing good. I know everyone's going to say, well, we'll wait till the postseason. Doc will be Doc. But as we sit right here, right now, Dame is an all-star. So, it's
LaMelo Ball's averaging 28 and fucking 7.
He has a never in the history, since we've moved to this format, we've never had the leading vote getter not make it until now. And I think it's because people have false narrative. Like, he's a victim of being a celebrity basketball player. Because
him averaging 28 and 7 not being here is fucking crazy. Trae Young averaging 22 and 11 and not being here is kind of wild to me.
Trae, I told Anthony this before. I really do not like Trae Young at all, but Trae should be on this team. To me, there's no world where Tyler Hero's on this team and Trae Young's not.
Jimmy Butler should be on this team.
Jimmy Butler should not be on this team. I don't know what team Jimmy Butler's going to be on in the next couple of days.
Why? I have a slight issue with the West. Why is Sabonis not there? He's had a really good year. I'm shocked that he's not on that West side.
He's not on there because Jaren Jackson's having a really
fucking great year.
Yeah, you notice, Dylan, I didn't say Sengun. I said Jaren Jackson is probably the one you would take him off for.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't take him off for Sabonis. I would not.
Yeah, Sabonis averaging 20 and 14.
What's JJ averaging?
I will get there because I'm looking at Sengun's numbers because Sengun is also balling right now.
And they just beat the Rockets as we're recording this. In real time, just beat the Rockets by 1. Dylan wants to pack it up and go back to H-Town.
He's averaging 20, Just under 23 and 6. Let me see how many blocks he's averaging because they're still adding blocks to his shit.
As of right now, they're adding blocks. Probably going to have 9 by
1.5 blocks. 22, 6, 2, 1.5 blocks.
So maybe, but he's a better defender than Sabonis. So
yeah, but it's the All-Star game. Who cares about that?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Where the hell is Devin Booker?
I don't.
How is he not on this? That's insane. He's averaging 25, 4, and 6.
Let's take a look at all the guards on here, and let's answer.
James Harden is the one. James Harden is the one.
Shai is averaging like 30 something, so he wasn't going to be.
Well, yeah. Shai's going to be there. He's probably the leading vote. Him or Jokic is probably the leading vote getter.
Anthony Edwards is averaging like 26 and 5 and 4,
and he's the new.
Yeah.
He's the new face of the league. So
James Harden.
Harden's having a good year.
Harden's having a good year. He's averaging 21, 5, and 8.
He's not. He's having a better year than Booker.
I don't think he is, but
he is.
No, he's not. Booker's averaging more points per game than he is.
Yeah, but he rebounds and assists and field goal percentage, he's better. So if you do points per game, sure, he's averaging less points per game, but he's also responsible for more points per game.
Also, Dylan, can you pull up Ja? I would love to see what Ja's.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Because I'm surprised. I am a little surprised Ja is not on here, but Doug Morant still hasn't won back the fans.
24 and 7.
Sounds like he's having a better year.
He's averaging 20 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds.
So he's averaging a little less points, but everything else is a wash.
Less rebounds, less assists than James Harden, because James Harden would be the one you take off of this, and James Harden has the better stats.
So, I mean,
John Morant's a tough admission.
Just for kicks and giggles too, what is Kevin Durant averaging? Because I know he's Kevin Durant. He's going to play. He's going to.
Yeah, he's also averaging like 27, I think. Let me see.
I just want to know because I don't know what Durant's numbers is.
He's averaging 27, 6, and 4.
Yeah, like he's Kevin Durant, so
he's
like
just doing Kevin Durant things.
I don't actually know what his numbers are. I was just curious of what his numbers actually are. But
Kevin Durant's averaging fucking 27, 4 and 6 on 50, 40, fucking 88.
He's doing 54. I was about to say he's doing 50, 40, 90.
50% from the field, 40 from 3, and like 88% from the free throw line.
I mean, he's still doing Kevin Durant.
He does Kevin Durant things.
Yeah.
They're just not winning.
No.
That's the problem.
They're a bad team. And they have the worst contract imaginable on that team that nobody wants in Bradley Beal.
Yep. So they can't
he's washed.
They can't get better. So I don't know, Anthony. I don't know who. I don't know. Like I said, to me, it would be JJ and Harden because I'm fine with everyone else being on that team for the West.
I would have taken Jaren Jackson on putting Booker.
Can't. They're not the same.
I would love.
I would have found some way to have Booker in there.
I would love for Norman Powell to be on this team, but he's not a star. Like he doesn't have the name.
He'll never make it.
Yeah, like he would have to be having. I mean, he is having a ridiculous season.
Yeah, but he'd have to be like a superstar year. Like they had to be like,
I also wish Russ was on this team. I think Russ is having an all-star.
Having a good year.
Russ is having an all-star year, but maybe Russ? Maybe Russ over Harden? Maybe. I'm probably wishful thinking because I hate James Harden.
Man, Russ is averaging.
Michael Jordan still playing? We could get him on the team, right?
Yeah, I don't know what would make this team, Mike. He's averaging 13, 6, and 5.
Ooh.
Really? It feels
I thought he was doing better than that.
Yeah, like it feels like Russ is
more.
Wow.
Like Russ is cooking. Like
Yeah, I would not have thought that. Would not have thought that. Hey, listen, I'm not. Hey, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That's cool. I thought Russ was having a better statistical season than that. Because, like you said, it feels like he's doing more. But hey,
Yeah,
Joker
Norman
is
Powell
doing
though,
more.
24,
Norman Powell's having a
2
hell
and
of a year.
3, and he's shooting fucking 43% from 3, just under 50% from the field. He's having a fucking year.
Yeah.
Easily the best year of his career. Easily. But role players don't get that nod.
Well, he's a starter now.
You can still be a role player as a starter.
He's the second best player on that team.
I mean, Kawhi Leonard's back, so he's not.
He's the second best player on that team.
Oh, stop.
He's the second best player on that team.
Listen, as much as a injury bug, a human injury bug that Kawhi Leonard is, when he plays, he's still that guy. When he's playing.
Enjoy your 6 weeks with him, and then we know what will happen. So, like I told you last, like I told you before, Anthony, he will go out and he'll drop 50 on the fucking Nuggets, and then the next day, oh, my knee exploded. Sorry, fellas.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Okay. So, All-Star Weekend, we are still working out the parameters because next week we will have me and Dylan's favorite All-Star. Me and Dylan's favorite are All-Star bets. I've been waiting patiently. I'm down 5 singles to Dylan. But next weekend, All-Star Weekend, I will be back because the bets will be going up and I will be back because we have fun All-Star Weekend. We're trying to plan a live stream, so stay tuned for that. Hit that notification button when you follow us, and you'll know when we go live.
Spoiler, I'm picking
Saturday
Caitlin
night.
Clark in the 3-point contest.
I bet you 5 packs of Gatorade.
Don't worry, she won't participate.
I'll bet
But Sabrina, give me Sabrina.
Listen, if Sabrina and Steph run it back, I might take Sabrina. If they run it back. But let's get to.
I can't wait to make WNBA predictions.
I can't either. Hey, Anthony, do you know your girl got traded, right?
Oh, her? Yeah.
You know she's
I
single,
know.
right?
She got traded. Huh? If she can stay single, I'm good.
Wow.
I'm good.
He's the Caitlin Clark guy now.
Oh, I would say, what did she do? Oh,
he's the
wow.
Caitlin Clark guy.
You're wild. You're wild for that.
They got 2 of Anthony's girls there, Cameron Brink and Kelsey Plum. I don't know how Anthony's just like dodging. And he likes some tall girls.
Like, I was like, how is he not a Sparks fan now?
Uppies.
But he will stay a Fever fan. Yes, Dylan, I know.
And Brittany Griner's not on the Phoenix anymore.
They got rid of Brittany for Alyssa, which is crazy. Can't say I'm mad at it, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
Caitlin Clark MVP season loading. That's all I gotta say.
Let me tell you something, Anthony.
Wait. I'm sorry. Let me clear my throat real quick. Caitlin Clark MVP season loading.
3-wheel spins.
Did I say that clear enough?
3-wheel spins.
You guys will find out if I accept that bet next week.
Yeah, you're gonna forget, and you're not gonna tell anybody. You're just gonna keep ignoring
it. It's
on
the show. Can't forget when it's on the show, Dylan.
You do that all the time. Remember when you're supposed to do a TikTok dance?
Untrue. That's not true.
We have that on the show.
I don't remember.
You can't forget when it's on the show.
I don't remember.
It's fine. We have video proof. It's okay.
Exactly. Plus, it's recent too, as well. It wasn't like 3 years ago.
She's still not better than Alyssa Thomas. Just let you know.
Sorry.
As we speak right now. She's not better than her.
Okay.
You don't even know who Alyssa Thomas is.
I love how she broke like every rookie record last year. You still said she's like,
Rookie.
And that's
yeah,
what I asked.
that's what you do as a rookie. That's what you do as a rookie, though. You break rookie record. That's what you're supposed to do.
Non-rookies did she break?
What?
What non-rookie records did she break? Because that shit is cool, but then there's no records for her to break when she's not a rookie. So she's just gonna keep breaking rookie records next year?
No. Like I said before, her MVP season will be coming upon us.
I will pick
next year.
I'm taking the field.
I'll probably take the field because I don't know if you know this, but there's this girl in Las Vegas. She's really good, and I don't know if you know this, but she's
wait. There's this girl in Indiana. She's like really good too as well.
She's not better than Asia though.
Vegas is the best player in the world.
You're absolutely right. She's not better than Asia.
It's not.
Till this year. This year she will be MVP.
I will put 10 fucking 10 packs of Gatorade that she does not have better stats than Asia Wilson.
I don't care about stats. I'm here about the MVP. I'm not doing that.
I will do stats and MVP.
10 packs of Gatorade.
10 packs.
That's a doozy. Let's make it 5 and you got a deal.
5.
All right, deal. I'll take that.
Handshake.
Wow.
5 packs of Gatorade that Asia Wilson has better stats and wins MVP over Caitlin Clark.
Yep.
Oh, you're agreeing to that. Okay, cool. We love it.
Yep.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
Goes on it. Caitlin Clark wins.
Hurt or not?
Wait, what was that?
If she gets hurt or not, no cop out. Don't matter.
If she gets hurt or not,
don't matter.
No cop. Hell, if she gets hurt, you getting. If she gets hurt, you getting 2.5 packs.
That would be better. Nope, I didn't agree to that. We shook on 5.
Well, technically, you didn't agree to the injury part. You said that till after we shook hands. All right, so
it don't matter. It don't matter.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does.
And Asia still finishes with better stats and an MVP. It still counts. Same thing with Asia.
Yeah, you'll get 2.
Taylor Clark finishes with better stats and MVP. Still counts.
Not agree. I don't.
You already.
Hey, whatever.
We didn't set parameters.
Hey, as long as it's equal on both sides, I'm cool with it.
But you are a silly man.
Caitlin Clark MVP season loaded. I mean, you guys doubted her all year last year, and she just like proved y'all wrong every single.
She didn't prove me wrong at all. She didn't prove me wrong at all.
Yeah, you thought she wasn't good, and then she just kept playing really well, like every single year. You did.
No, I never said she wasn't good.
You said she was overrated.
She is overrated, but I don't think she's very good. I don't think she's not good. That's wrong. I don't think she's not good. I think she's great. I don't think she's worth everything that everybody's given her. And she's a turnover machine, but like, yeah, she's really good.
And she's not the best player in the league. She's not close yet.
I don't think she's top 5.
Give me your top 5 right now.
WNBA players?
Yeah.
Yeah, WNBA.
Asia, Stewie,
Sabrina.
I would Ryan
Jewel.
Howard. Would you give me Ryan Howard?
He doesn't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
That's why I asked you, Dylan, because.
But the problem is I can't. The problem is I don't know if I could turn to Dylan and ask him for a fair take on if she's better than Caitlin Clark or not. Because I'm not sure.
Everyone I just named is better than her. Jewel Lloyd is better than her. Kelsey Mitchell on her team is better than her.
Kelsey Mitchell is better than Caitlin Clark. You would rather have her than Caitlin Clark?
I'm not saying that, but
Exactly. Come on
Yo,
now.
when did that team start winning? When she
I
came
may
back
not
from
win. I may not know every single WNBA star, but I watch the Fever games, Mike. Come on, let's not do that. I like
and
Chelsea Mitchell too. I
and
like her a lot.
they did not start winning until she came back from injury. You can look at it, you can literally track it. They did not start winning until Kelsey came back from injury.
She's an integral part of the team, but I would still can take Caitlin Clark over her.
By the way, Jacquel Jones is better than her too. By the way, JJ's better.
I don't know, Mike. See, this is like I get a little sketchy, you know,
Crazy.
well,
because
the problem is
you
Jacquel Jones is on a team where there's like also elite talent all over the place. But we've seen Jonquel Jones be that
before
person.
she got to the Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, you are just a known Clark hater, so I don't know how much I can take your opinion into account. I'm not saying you're wrong. You could very well be right in everything you're saying. It's just you do have that Clark hate. Like you have been known to be a Clark hater, so it's like I'll take most of what you said, but I'm not. I don't know. I have my suspicions about you.
Most would indicate that someone that I just named is not better than her. So who is it?
Kelsey Mitchell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like some of these players I'm not that well versed on.
Fine. You want to take Kelsey out? Fine. Is she better than Rakia?
No.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
What are you saying?
Not better than
Rakia. Wait, I didn't know.
Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. I can't have this conversation.
Like I said,
hard conversation.
MVP season.
No, the WNBA players.
MVP season loading. MVP season loading.
Like she's not better than Chelsea Gray.
She's not better than all these people. You know what's funny about that?
She's not better than the point guard. She's not.
Mike.
She's not.
Mm-hmm. Here's a true story, Mike. True story. Do you know at the end of the NBA season? Now, granted, again, I am not saying she's better than Asia Wilson. I'm not saying that. But she was in that, people were putting her in that conversation towards the end of the NBA season, WNBA season. Because towards the end, people already kind of just left Angel Reese in the dust as far as like rookie of the year contest and whatnot. They're like, no, Caitlin Clark left her behind. They were putting her in conversations for MVP.
Yeah,
as much as you wanted to test
the Caitlin Clark fans.
That's such a cop out of every proportion. That is such a cop out, dude.
They were putting her in there, but she still had no business being there. No business. Nobody had any business.
So why
that was Asia Wilson?
So why were they
alone?
So why were they putting her in there?
She was having statistically, she was having a good year. The problem is
she wasn't having an MVP statistically.
Yeah, she wasn't having an MVP year. But like everybody was trying to put her in that conversation because it was good for exposure. Everything with her is about exposure in the league, but everyone's ignoring the fact like Asia Wilson was so far better than fucking everybody. Everybody. You could put fucking Caitlin Clark in that conversation. It doesn't matter because Asia Wilson's season was so much better. Who fucking cares? Who cares? It was
unanimous MVP.
It was Asia Wilson up here and everybody else down here. That includes Clark, but anybody, name a player, all of them, all here. Because it doesn't matter because Asia Wilson was winning that no matter what.
If the Aces weren't burnt out from winning those titles, they would have won again. They were burnt out because all Asia needed was just someone to come with her. Anyone come with her and help because that's how unbelievably dominant she was this year. Like Anthony, I put it in the chat. She was putting up Shaq numbers, like not like hyperbole, like, oh well, Shaq numbers in the sense of women's basketball.
No, like 2001 Shaq numbers.
Shaq numbers. Like, it was not close who the MVP was. Like, so to sit here, well, she was in the conversation. No, she was never in the conversation. She was, and as means that she was never even supposed to make her being on the All WNBA first team is disrespectful that she put because she didn't have that good of a season. And you can look at the stats and she didn't. She's nowhere near as good as Sabrina yet. And statistically, she didn't have as good as a season as Sabrina. But yet, here we are, where she has the first team and Sabrina doesn't. And then you sit here and tell me, well, there you go. That's why. No, like, it's hype. It's hype. It's not hate. She's just not that good yet.
So wait, I
very well
I
maybe the
gotta.
best player in the league in 5 years. This is year one.
This is
We're still.
this is where you lose it.
We're still.
This is where you lose. You're losing me a little bit with this because you're saying like it's hype, but you're telling me that's the reason why she made first team and Sabrina didn't.
Yes, that is the exact reason why. That is the reason why. If I have Dylan pull up the stats right now, you're not gonna like what you hear. Because she averaged, I think, 24, and I think 9, I want to say. Sabrina averaged 20, I think 8 and 4. But let's see how close I am. Let's see. Caitlin had a good year last year.
Caitlin Clark averaged 19.
Oh, never mind.
8 and 5.
More 6.
Sabrina averaged 18, 6 and 4. But with less turnovers.
More efficient.
Field goal percent 40. 33, 34.
Caitlin had a good 3-point percentage, right?
She shot 34.
She wasn't 40? Oh,
no.
Well, she was chucking a lot.
They shot the same 3-point percentage.
I thought Caitlin was 40 last year.
No, the stats are almost the same.
Look out.
Stats are almost it's the turnover thing that's really like the big takeaway with Caitlin Clark. She finished 4th in MVP voting.
You said she's not close to Sabrina. Is that what you said, Mike?
She's still not close. No.
Well, the problem is
why are we lying on this podcast?
Well, the difference is Caitlin Clark is the number one option on her team. Sabrina is not. That's the difference here.
Was she the leading scorer on the Fever? Because I believe it was Kelsey Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken.
Kelsey Mitchell, who played half the season? Let me see.
And even if she's not, Anthony, Sabrina is not the number 2 option on the team. Sabrina is the number 3 option on her team.
But you said it wasn't close.
I still don't think it's close. I still don't think it's close.
Caitlin Clark was leading.
Hey, look, man.
Team.
She was or wasn't it?
She was.
I just looked at. I think she averaged. I was wrong, but her and Mitchell had like the same amount of points per game. But I mean, at the end of the day, they put Clark first team for a reason, man. Like, you just gotta respect that, you know. You can't just sit here and say it's hype. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it does kind of speak volumes. It kind of means that, hey, we think Caitlin Clark is better than that Sabrina.
It is a narrative.
It's a narrative.
The WNBA has been pushing the Caitlin Clark narrative since she got drafted.
Her stats are literally better than Sabrina.
They're the same. They're identical stats.
No, they're not. We no. Her stats are better than Sabrina.
She averages one more point. That's Kelsey Mitchell. She averages one more point. She averages 2 more assists. They average the same rebounds, but she averages 3 more turnovers. And everything else is the same.
And again, that's what Sabrina being.
So she averages more points than assists
and more turnovers,
but more assists,
but more turnovers.
But more assists.
The 2 more assists that she averages get taken away by the 3 more turnovers she averages.
You know what, Dylan? That sounds wonderful. But you know who disagrees with you? The people who put Caitlin Clark first team all NBA. So those are the people who say we don't give a fuck about what you just said.
Exactly. That's the point. It does not matter.
That sounds lovely. They just don't give a fuck, all right? It ain't relevant. Because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is up there first team all WNBA. And she's going to be MVP next year.
She is not.
It's going to be.
She's not.
She's absolutely going to be MVP next year. It's going to be
mad
lovely.
When it's Asia Wilson or Brianna Stewart. And she doesn't win it. Fucking Nafisa Collier. Fuck that.
Nafisa is going. Look at me being a terrible WNBA because there's someone who's also infinitely better than Caitlin Clark, but.
Oh god, Mike is just Mike. You are filled with hate. Like you're just filled with Clark hate on unprecedented levels.
Right? Nafisa actually has much better stats than Caitlin
Clark. But you know what though? When Caitlin Clark wins MVP, I'm gonna take more joy in holding Mike accountable than actually getting my Gatorades from Dylan. I can confidently say that. I can confidently say that.
One of those packs in red. You'll let me get one of those packs in
red. I'll let you get one. 4 is good for my fridge. 4 yellow is good for my fridge. I'll have a red that I'll have delivered for you. Because I'm looking at Nafisa Collier stats. Shit. The reason she won Defensive Player of the Year. God, she was a fucking menace.
She's a menace. She gave Stewie fits whole finals. Whole finals, she gave Stewie fits. Had me nervous the whole finals. That's okay. Caitlin's
No, she's nice. I do know Nafisa Collier, but I mean, that finals was. Oh, no, I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna talk about that.
We're gonna say it's rigged because New York ended up winning.
I'm not gonna go there. Liberty won. Liberty won that. I'm not gonna do that.
Don't think that I don't have it in the chamber because we keep it in the chamber.
You know, it's all over the place.
Before we go,
so many other ways you could have gone about this, about saying it was rigged, other than what you're trying to allude to.
Hey, the footage tells no lies, Dylan. That's all I'm gonna say.
We will wait until next week because by the time we come back on the air next week, the trade deadline will pass. Jimmy Butler should be traded by then. De'Aaron Fox might be traded by then. Brandon Ingram might be traded by then. So we'll wait to break down woulda, coulda, woulda, shouldas, and all of that with them. Anthony brought something up in the pod that it irked me to no end, and that's this Bronny James thing that just popped off on Tuesday, I think, whenever they played Philly. I'm not even going to give you the context of what Bronny went through before that game because he's a professional player and that's the life. So it is what it is. But to sit here and have all these Anthony's and Stephen A's sit here and say that Bronny's an embarrassment to the league and he shouldn't be here because he played 15 minutes and he got cooked by Tyrese Maxey, who dropped 43 in that game and was cooking everyone in that game, and who
No, hold on, Mike.
has a case to be an all-star. It's crazy. There is no shame
Mike,
in Bronny getting cooked by Tyrese Maxey. Like, there's no shame in that.
that man was getting cooked, seared, baked, fried. He was getting absolutely roasted by this motherfucker.
Tyrese Maxey's a bum?
No, I didn't say he's. No, Tyrese Maxey's a superstar. I'm just saying Bronny was getting absolutely torched. Like, that shit was bad.
So, is it coaching that maybe we shouldn't have Bronny on him because he can't guard him? Are we holding people accountable? Because clearly he can't guard him. He's not fast enough to guard him. So, and he's not experienced enough to guard him. So maybe he shouldn't be guarding him.
Gotta get those pro reps, man. That's all I can say.
So maybe he should get reps, right? And he just has to learn, right?
Yeah.
Instead of saying he shouldn't be in the league.
Well, to be fair, I don't think I said he shouldn't be in the league. I just said he was stinking. I think Stephen A said he shouldn't be in the league.
I think we need to stop grading people on a curve. That's the theme of this podcast, right? We need to stop grading people on a curve. Since when do we have such high expectations for a second round pick?
A two-way pick.
When that second round pick is LeBron James' son, yes, you have such high expectations. He's going to be under a microscope.
Couldn't even fucking make it. And we just let that be. Like, we could just treat Bronny just like a second round pick and just not give
and we
a
would
fuck.
be like, and we'd be like,
you can't do it. There's no world where that exists, Dylan. You already know this. Like,
there's a world that
there's no world that exists.
Yes.
It's called You're LeBron James' son. A lot of people already think the only reason why you're here is because you're his son. People want to see you prove them wrong. And again, he's been playing really well in the G League as of late. He's been dropping some 30 burgers recently. So people are like, okay. Then they put him back into an NBA game, and he is getting historically just fucking torched by Tyrese Maxey.
Crazy.
Historically is doing a lot.
I mean historically. I don't mean that literally. I'm just saying he just got torched just so bad. Like, it was awful. Like, it was just fucking.
Again, he's a second.
I know that he's LeBron James' son, Dylan. Nobody's going to care about the fact he's a second round pick. He's LeBron James' son.
That's the thing. We're treating him like he was the first pick in the draft. Do you even remember who the first pick in the draft was this year?
Something serious. He plays for the Wizards, right?
No.
Who was the first pick?
Zachary Risachet.
Who the fuck is that?
Exactly. My fucking point.
Who the fuck is that?
He's a rookie who's averaging like 18 points a game. We're talking about a second round pick more than we are the first pick in the fucking draft. And people are getting mad that the Lakers used a second round pick on a guy who wasn't NBA ready. That's what the second round is for. You get guys who aren't supposed to be ready. That's why it's when they end up turning into something, it's exceptional.
It's a steal.
It's a steal. That's why Jokic is like, that pick will go down as one of the greatest picks ever because he was a second round pick. Gilbert Arenas was a second round pick.
Drafted during a Taco Bell commercial.
Manu Ginobili, Gilbert Arenas, all these superstars came out second round pick. There's not a lot of them. These are the picks you're able to go and reach on. Like, grand scheme of things, we're getting mad that a second round pick is in the NBA, but Giannis literally had his brother on the team to just be a bench warmer.
Chill. Watch your mouth, man.
Thanasis literally, with less basketball experience than Bronny James had, made an NBA roster to be a goon.
But nobody had those expectations. Thanasis brought a different energy and a different role to the Bucks. Nobody had that expectation of him being a second coming of anything. All right,
Nobody had that
like the
expectation of
Nats,
Bronny. Nobody
the,
had that
the Nats had the Nats had a specific job to do, and he did that. Bronny James, people are looking at Bronny James like, okay, can he achieve even like 1/5 of what his dad is doing? People,
And that's
that's the
the
expectation for
problem.
Bronny.
We're grading on a curve as opposed to grading the basketball player in front of us. Bronny James didn't become a 5-star recruit until the last game of his high school career. The last game of his high school career, he became a 5-star recruit. Right? He didn't get a lot of burn at USC because the players were better than him at USC. Right?
And he almost died.
And he almost
Yeah.
died. So, like, we need to sit here and remember, or even really understand, the basketball player that Bronny James was. Bronny James was never going to come in and be a superstar. Never was a superstar at any level. The schools that he went to, he was always on the second team for it. He's talented. His ceiling is role player.
His ceiling
If he's
is
a
Gabe
role
Vincent.
player,
He's Gabe Vincent. That's what he is.
if his ceiling is role player
Well,
and he
what Gabe
becomes role
Vincent's
player,
supposed
he
to
will be
be.
fine. But we need to stop acting like, oh my God, he's supposed to be LeBron James. He's not. He's not. He's supposed to be a guy who has a career. Like, he may have to fight for his career. But if he figures it out, he's going to be just a guy at the end of the bench ready to go. That's what
Honestly,
he is.
his ceiling is probably Patrick Beverly. That's probably his ceiling.
Probably, yeah.
If he works on his defense and gets a jump shot, a 3-and-D guy at the point guard position, which will make him very valuable, and he could become a key piece to a championship team. But to think that he's
But that's going to be
LeBron
something he's going to hit
James,
when he's like 27.
yeah, exactly,
Which is fine.
7 years from
Send
now.
him to the G League for like off and on, because you have to get those game reps in. You have to get comfortable doing it. Like, there's a possibility for him to have a career. But you can't.
I mean, it's
And he's gotten remarkably better from the beginning of the year until now. He's a better player.
but I'm gonna say the same thing I've repeated. I'm gonna say the same thing I've already repeated. I agree with everything you're saying, but that's not the narrative people want to hear. It's just not.
And that's wrong.
People want to know, is this the second coming of LeBron James? That's the narrative that people want to hear. That's the narrative that people want to see or find out. If he is not, and again, you can, vary this like whatever different way. If he is not at least 1/5 of LeBron, people are going to come after him. They're going to come after this man hard. It just is what it is.
And it's wrong because it's not.
Nobody wants.
It's not fair to Bronny for this.
People don't want to make Pat. People don't want to hear Pat Bev comparisons when it comes to Bronny James. Nobody wants to hear that, even though it's probably true and it makes a lot of sense.
If he was really the second coming of LeBron James, he would have been a first-round pick. He would have been a high first-round pick.
Well, some people think he shouldn't have been drafted, period. And the only reason why he is because he's Bron's son. So, with that being the case,
if he wasn't drafted, he still would have been on a team. Somebody would have picked him up just to have him and keep him on the G League on a two-way.
Because he is that good that he still deserves the exact contract and role that he has right now.
Like, getting mad at because he's in the NBA because he was taken in the second round is pissing into a fan and complaining that it's raining. Like, again, I could count on one hand the guys who are successful second-round picks.
It's not a lot.
It's not. It's not. Shit happens. Like, why? Like, they could have gone another direction with that second-round pick. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. Because that player would have been in the same exact spot as Bronny on a two-way deal.
But Stephen
Those
A. to
second-round
say
pick guys
that
are your development guys.
LeBron should be embarrassed and as a father he should pull the plug is one of the most asinine things I've ever heard that man say. He said some things. Like
That was a little
relax,
extra.
like relax, and then that same Stephen A. will get in his feelings and get all butthurt when LeBron goes, all right, well then fuck you then. I'm not talking to you anymore. And then you don't want to make an interview with me, LeBron. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
This whole situation is so stupid because everybody wants to make this like all about LeBron when it's just like let the kid have his career. Let the kid
It's
learn
about LeBron.
basketball.
It's about LeBron. People just want to find something wrong with LeBron. So now they go, aha, your son's not like you. So there's the
Jordan's better.
It's like when by the way, Bronny is already better than Michael Jordan's son right now.
That's not saying a lot, Mike. It's not.
Already better.
I mean, actually, Anthony, it's saying quite a bit. Because Marcus couldn't even be a second round pick. Couldn't even be a second round pick.
Put another one on the board.
Couldn't even be a hey, we'll draft him just because he's Michael's son.
Nope.
They couldn't even like Marcus was so bad they couldn't even give him a fucking nepotism draft.
Ooh, that boy stunk.
Jordan was an owner. He was an owner of a team and didn't draft his son.
Well, Jordan was a very honest man. Like at the end of the day.
Jordan was also a terrible owner.
Awful.
He was smart enough to not draft his own son. I'll tell you that.
Could have saved the franchise he bought. He stunk. Bronny isn't good either. Bronny's better than Marcus, but they should just leave Bronny alone. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to him at all, and it's so stupid that LeBron has to deal with this as a 40-year-old man in the league. That he's getting shit because his son is on the roster.
Because that's such a bad thing.
His son's on a 2-way contract.
Ronnie played tonight. I think he
got 5 points.
He had 5 points. He played 12 minutes.
Meanwhile, Giannis keeps bringing these Greek fuckers over here and giving them jobs.
Like, you telling me that
it's such a different.
It's not different. It's the same thing.
Bronny couldn't play on the Wizards right now. You can't tell me Bronny couldn't play on the Wizards right now.
No, Bronny can play on the Wizards.
There's a bag of bums over there. So, like, yeah. That's all.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. This nepotism shit's so dumb. Everybody wants to shit on LeBron, but again, Alex Antetokounmpo has a championship ring. Alex Antetokounmpo won a ring with the Lakers in 2020. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. Thanasis has a ring. He stinks. He can't get a job right now. He is not rosterable.
Your hate from him knows no end.
And then there's another.
This is so wild.
Of getting to the NBA. He stinks too. But guess what? Like, hey, maybe Giannis will come here because we have one of his brothers. It's going to be the same situation where everybody was like, oh, we may draft Bronny because we might be able to get LeBron. It'll be the same situation. The same shit. If Giannis is on the Bucks for like in the next 2 years, I guarantee you whatever team he's on, Thanasis is on the team. Just to make Giannis happy. And it'll be the same situation. Because Thanasis doesn't get minutes.
Thanasis had a specific role. All right.
And he did it well. And
his role was,
he did it.
I need to be there for my brother. I need to bring him his Oreos.
Thanasis was the energy guy, and he did that well. That was all he was required to do.
Unless they were up by 40.
Again, there are many different ways to bring energy to a team.
The highest paid security guard outside of the Secret Service. this was because he wasn't good at basketball.
There was
You have
anybody
an
else in
I'm
that
him.
family. Yeah.
I'm him on this week.
Oh, easy. For me, Vince Carter.
Oh,
I
Dylan,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
we don't have the footage
I
or the
oh I
pictures
oh I didn't really post anything, but
up for us, but I don't care about your social media.
yeah.
We could have had something posted here in the chat, on the pod ready.
We didn't.
We'll have it next week.
Yeah, but yeah, I went to go see Vince Carter's jersey retirement in Brooklyn this past Saturday, and it was awesome to see. I got interviewed by Yes Network. Me and my buddy from
Hey.
to meet Ryan Anderson, who is all of 6'10". Had James
Yeah,
telling
we
me I'm
found
not
out that
5'9".
Dylan's 5'6". We found that out.
I will stab you. That is a tall human. Like you guys are already taller. He is taller than you. Like he is a tall motherfucker. We sat there. We were going down our seats. We had really good seats. We were going down, and all of a sudden I'm walking by and I see this tall dude talking to somebody. And I look at him and I'm like, the fuck? He's like, what? I was like, is that Ryan Anderson? And he's like, is he? Holy shit, it's Ryan Anderson. And then Ryan Anderson stops talking to the guy he's talking to, comes right over to me. And it's just like, hey guys, thanks for fucking being here. Like, it's awesome that we're all here to support Vince. He's a great teammate. I wish I got to play here more. But, you know, you guys sent me off with Vince Orlando and blah, 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 blah. And I sat and talked to him for like 5 minutes. I was like, holy shit, Ryan. Like, that's awesome. And he sat there, dabbed me up, let me get some pictures. He walked away. This guy behind me, he goes, hey. Like, he's not kidding. He's in the mid-20s. Like, hey, who is that? We're like, oh, it's Ryan Anderson. He goes, for the Rockets? I was like, yeah, Ryan Anderson for the Rockets. He's like, oh, I'm a big Ryan Anderson fan. Runs down the thing to go there. Ryan Anderson, hey, Ryan Anderson, Ryan Anderson.
What?
Like, oh, okay. That was weird.
Nothing weird about that.
And then right after that, I met one of the Nets beat writers that I've been talking to off and on Twitter for the last couple of years, trying to meet him at these different events, Anthony Puccio. So I got to see my guy Pooch, tell him thank you, and he remembered me from Twitter from a couple of our conversations. So I was like, yeah, that's sick. Easily the best experience I had at a sporting event, outside of being like the presidential suite at MetLife Stadium. Meeting the people, getting interviewed, like it was awesome. Oh, got my Vince Carter bobblehead. Shit. Didn't even know that was right away. Bought the tickets, didn't even know.
Hey, Dylan, did you say MetLife Stadium?
So,
oh,
Vince Carter signed him. He got everything he deserved. It was a great weekend. Barclays was packed to the fucking ceiling, and it was so cool. Devin Harris was there. Like a lot of the guys from my era of Nets were there, and it was really cool to see. Ian Eagle was the one who did the officiating on that, while Noah called the game. Ian Eagle the GOAT. Yeah, shout out to Vince Carter. Best plays in net. That fucking body he caught on Alonzo Mourning off the tip.
Still top 5 dunk I've ever seen.
Put that man in a fucking body bag.
Doesn't matter that I don't like Alonzo Mourning. That dunk is just vicious.
Unreal. So shout out to VC. Deserved it.
Vince with a top 3 dunk celebrations of all time. That revving it up is legendary. Shout out to Vince. And, he will. Do you have one? I'm him, Anthony.
I do have an I'm him. Yeah, it took me a while to think about it, but I think I feel comfortable giving it to Mr. P. Carroll. I'm gonna give him I'm him. I am like I said before, you know. I've always been somebody who's always been open to whatever decisions not Raider Nation, One Nation makes. And like I said before, I am entrusting in Pete Carroll to deliver us to the promised land. So I will give him my eye on him.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I will give Vince Carter an honorable mention because Vince is legitimately one of my favorite players of all time. So he gets an honorable mention for me because well deserved. He well deserved to have his jersey retired by two different franchises.
We were supposed to be the first ones because the Raptors are fucking shitty.
And then the Raptors realized that no, it should be the Raptors first, and then
The Nets can't be the first team to retire his
be the
jersey.
first. The Nets can't be the first.
It should absolutely be the Raptors.
Well, that's their own fault.
So but I'm him is listen, there's only one guy. Saquon Barkley is the guy. Shout out to him. I love the fact, and we'll see if him and the Eagles are indeed Cody Rhodes, but my wrestling fans will get that pun. It's just good to see the good guys winning, man. Saquon legitimately seems like one of the good guys, and to see him doing this is just great. And honestly, it's not even about him being a good guy. Like, he's him right now. Like, the fact that the first play of the game he went 60 yards is
that was wild.
I don't know how if you're John Mara, you didn't see that. And you just said, you know what? I know I was going to stick with both of these guys. Fire them both. Fired both of them. I have to watch the guy we let walk be in an MVP conversation and then be the reason that team is in the Super Bowl.
Dylan, if he does that in the Super Bowl, I'm going to go crazy. If Saquon on the first play of the Super Bowl runs 60-something yards for a touchdown, I'm losing my mind.
You have to fire them.
You have to fire them at halftime. I need Tom
An
Brady.
Update. We need Adam Schefter.
I need Glazer to come on at halftime and breaking news: John Mara has fired the entire because, like I said, this is all time bad. This is all time embarrassing. And what makes it more embarrassing is that front office thought being on Hard Knocks would make them look better. They thought, oh, we'll have you guys record us so you can see that we weren't being assholes. And like, you see, we tried, and now Saquon stinks. So you see, when in reality, we saw the truth, which was you never, unless you could sign Saquon for $2 million, you were never going to re-sign him. You never wanted him. John Mara, who's supposed to be the boss, is pleading with you to keep him. Your son is telling you to keep him. And no. Who cares? Saquon, we can get another one. We can get another one.
Let's go get Devin Singletary.
Cool. So the Giants deserve all of it, and I hope Saquon runs for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns and wins the MVP. And he'll never do this because he's too classy. But then get on the stage, on the podium, and go, "Fuck you, Giants," and walk off.
He'd probably say, "I'd like to thank the Giants," and then just keep it moving.
But Saquon Barkley is him for me because he is him because he's him right now. He's him.
Surprised no one said Pat Mahomes.
I wanted to get into that because I also wanted to get in the fact that I despise the fact that Patty was not in the top 5 for MVP, but
he didn't have a good year. He had a decent year, but
he didn't have an MVP year.
Mahomes year.
Exactly.
He had a
Voter
bad
fatigue.
Mahomes year.
Thank you, Dylan. Voter fatigue. Voter fatigue. Cool.
He had a good year as a quarterback. Fun fact, C.J. Stroud had better stats than Pat Mahomes this year, but Pat Mahomes had a bad year in comparison to what we know Pat Mahomes thrown for 5,000 yards and fucking 55 touchdowns.
Pat was also 14-1.
Listen.
And Pat had a lot of injuries.
Hey.
That's cool,
We can argue what the MVP is all up and down.
That's why Pat should be the MVP.
Listen, I used to make the arguments for Kevin Durant, why Kevin Durant should win MVP when he's hurt. Because nothing shows impact or value more than your team being bad when you're not there. I miss you, Kevin.
And I know you do.
There's a part of me that thinks we're going to get through this rebuild and Kevin will be back.
Oh, my God.
I would love for that. Give me a 38-year-old Kevin Durant just so I can be happy again. He'll probably be the next net that goes in the rafters.
That would be diabolical if that's true.
He spent the same amount of time in Brooklyn as Vince did.
Diabolical. Nets legend Brook Lopez needs to be the next one to go in the rafters. Nets legend. Is Kenyon Martin up there yet?
No, and he shouldn't be.
I'm not going to argue with you for another 45.
He wasn't there long enough.
I'm not going to argue with you.
He was there for like
Kenyon Martin should absolutely be up there.
Kenyon Martin shouldn't be up there. What did he do?
What?
He didn't do
Kenyon Martin was a fucking dog, yo.
He was a dog.
On both of your finals runs.
He was the second best
player,
and he left right after. He was only on the team for like 3 years and then left.
Those are 3 really good years.
2 good years. 2 good years. He was on the team for 3 of them. Only 2 of them were good.
They were good enough where his jersey should be hung up.
His jersey's not going up.
He was on the Nets for 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, he was on the Nuggets right after, like 04.
He was on the Nuggets for 7. Oh, I forgot he played for the Clippers for 10 minutes.
Yes, he did. If we're being real, the next 2 jerseys that should go up would be Richard Jefferson and Brook Lopez. Those would be the 2 guys that go up.
Mm.
You don't like RJ, but RJ has to go up.
Keith Van Horn? No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay.
What about Kerry Kittle?
Up there?
Kerry Kittle. All right. Anthony,
No.
All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anthony's just like, yeah, let's just put fucking. Hey, why don't you guys put Jared Jeffries up in the rafters? Ronaldo Balkman, put him up there.
Oh man.
Hey, when's Stephon Marbury getting his jersey retired?
No, that's not happening.
Yeah. Hell no. Fuck no.
What about Sprewell? Sprewell getting his jersey retired?
No, but I could make an argument for Allen Houston.
Allen Houston still doesn't have his jersey retired?
No.
The
Knicks haven't retired a jersey since Patrick Ewing. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
You could put Melo in the rafter before you put Allen Houston in the rafters?
You shouldn't. But that's what's gonna happen. The next Knick jersey going up is gonna be Melo.
That sucks.
It's gonna be Melo.
That's kind of fucked up.
And I mean, listen, Melo's number needs to go up.
Melo needs to go up. I will say that. But Houston also should have
Allen
a jersey
Houston
up there.
Needs to go up there. Oakley should have been up there.
Oakley never going up.
Yeah, why is Oakley not up there? Like, what the fuck?
Oakley and
Oakley's never
Dolan
going
don't
up.
get along, so that's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I would argue
Larry Johnson's up there, right?
No, he's not going up there. I could make an argument. I could make a strong argument for John Starks, but I don't think Starks will go up.
No.
That's really it. That's really it.
Because I know Durant's going to end up going up. 7's going to be in there. You can't put Durant up there before you put like RJ and Brooke. Like that, you just can't do that, right?
Durant cannot go up there before Brook Lopez.
Before that, no.
Unless Brook Lopez plays until he's 50. But
yeah,
but
he can't go up there. He can't go up there until those guys do.
He can't go up there before Brooke.
No, exactly.
You want to put Richard Jefferson up there? All right.
You have to but Richard Jefferson was too important to the Jersey. He was too important to the Jersey Nets. You can't not put him up there.
No, Richard Jefferson needs to be up there. Yeah.
Richard Jefferson was there for like 8 years, top 5 scoring all time, top 5 in like every major category with the Nets.
Is Kid up there?
Yeah, Kid's jersey's retired.
Kid was jersey retired in 2012.
Oh, okay.
Because the last jersey before Kid was Petrovic.
Oh, okay.
And Kid was like a no-brainer. Where like he's the greatest player in franchise history. You can't.
That was easy.
That's the easy one.
So
you gotta do it.
Is Buck Williams up there?
Yes. Buck Williams was also there.
Buck was there. Oh wow.
Buck was there. Dr. J was there. Buck was there. Literally everybody who could be there, whose jersey was up, was there. Kid was coaching a game, so he wasn't there. Petrovic also like passed away, but like everybody else was there. So it was really cool. RJ wasn't there. He was supposed to be part of it, but he had to go and do work. And they didn't let him off.
He's not a good person, so he probably just purposely didn't go anyway.
They were like best friends. Vince Carter and Jefferson were like best friends.
He's not a good person. I told you, he's not a good person.
You're the worst.
Respect
on Richard Jefferson.
He's just a despicable human being.
Imagine Richard Jefferson getting his number retired before Allen Houston.
And terrible. Terrible.
And that would be all shame on Dolan. All shame on Dolan.
Yeah.
Where Josiah is just like, hey, I'm going to recognize all the very important figures in my team's history. Unlike you, Joseph.
Yeah. Terrible, man.
24 will never be worn again.
But yeah, so I mean that was fun. We will we will preview the big game next week. We will go over NBA All-Star Weekend, which will also be next week. We will recap Breezy's bachelor festivities that's going on this weekend, when me and Dylan are not going to do anything. And
we'll rumble on our phone while everything.
And we'll be back to give you the sports that you need. And I think there's only one way to end this show.
Oh God. Yes.
Duval.
Nothing is like this is like the worst way to do anything. Because not only does he look like a fucking creep doing it, he also does the chant. He also does the chant wrong. He looks like a fucking herb. Like it's fucking unreal. He looks like he hangs out outside of the fucking middle school with bags of fucking oregano trying to sell to kids. Like it's fucking wild. It's wild. And Rob saw that and was like, that's my guy. That's my guy. All of Duval County should be upset with him. And granted, they weren't. Everyone was like, whoa. Everybody was like, 0-17. 17. It's supposed to be Duval.
Exactly. That's how it's supposed to go, Dylan. Let them know.
I know, but I'm still at war with all of Duval County.
Yeah, they don't like you.
They don't like me. Curtis Martin's still better than Fred Taylor.
That's how you do the chant. That's how.
If I'm Tony Khan, I'm looking at my dad. I'm like, oh. I had Prince Nana while we had the chance.
We will see you guys next week. From us to you, we say adieu. Good night.